Hey guys, Beretta Millimeter USA here, and today's video is going to be the Glock 30 SF versus the Springfield Armory XDm Compact Elite, both pistols chambered in 45 ACP. So yeah, both pistols slinging that huge friggin' piece of lead, you guys know what I'm saying, that ashtray, as it were. 45 ACP again, that is not a joke, it is a whole lot of grainage coming at you. Both these pistols are empty. This is a 9+1 with the magazine seen right here. The Glock 30 SF is a 10+1. So you do have one additional round with the Glock 30 stock with the flush fitting mag, as it were. Although it's not really flush fitting, you get 10 rounds because of this pinky extension. If you were running a flat faced base plate on this, it would be 9+1 in the Glock 30. Alright, so I think first thing to mention, this is kind of interesting, this pistol has been discontinued. The old XDm Elite here. Springfield Armory might be coming out with a Gen 3 variation of this. That might be why they discontinued this version. They just released the Mod 3 version of the XD. So I guess we shall see. Speaking of the XDm line, specifically talking about the 45 ACP variations, one of the nice things about the XDs is that they take all of the 45 ACP double stack magazines from Springfield. So you could shove a standard XD 45 magazine in this, or an XDM mag. This is an XDM, of course. So it don't matter what you shove in it, XD, XDM Elite, XDM mag, all the 45 ACP magazines double stack will fit in this from Springfield. So that's nice. What other features do you have here on the XDM Elite that you don't see on your more plain Jane utilitarian Glock? So the Gen 3 variation of the Glock, you cannot swap over the magazine release. You also only have a slide release on the side for a right-handed shooter. On the Gen 5 Glock 30, they've changed that, adding an ambidextrous slide release, and again, the ability to change the magazine release over to the side for a lefty. Talking about the Springfield, you're already set up out the gate with that ambidextrous magazine release. Again, drop it easily from either side, and it works either way. That's good to mention. Of course, if you guys watch my Glock 36 video, one of my more recent videos, you'll notice that I noticed that this thing will not drop the magazine if I press it as a left-handed shooter with my trigger finger. Now if I press it with the thumb as a right-handed shooter, no issues. Tested out both my Glock 36s, and it's just the way the Glock 36 works. If you're a left-handed shooter, interesting things to find out with the Glock 36, as it were. Moving back to these two pistols. Again, really nice feature set on the XDm Elite. Again, ambi slide release, ambi magazine release, 3-slot Picatinny rail on your polymer frame. Really nicely undercut frame to get high up on it into that bore axis. You can see that you do have a cock striker indicator. So when the pistol is cocked, the little piece of metal there sticks out the back of the slide cover plate. Looking at the sight picture here, you have a U-notched rear, red fiber optic front. Again, metal sights on the Springfields out the gate. Most Glocks, you're gonna get that horrible stock factory plastic set of sights, unless you're lucky and you get a set of Glock factory night sights out the gate like these, or something else. Better sight picture on the Springfield, no doubt, out the gate. This is also a Springfield OSP or something like that, but anyway. Not a fan of putting red dots on my pistols. I'm stuck in the way of running iron sights. It's just what I've known, and it's what I've been shooting for 20 plus years now, so it is what it is. Superior quality magazines, in my opinion, on the Springfields. I really do like the all-metal construction over the polymer and metal line magazines from Glock. I just think that they work, don't get me wrong, they work extremely well from Glock, but I do prefer an all-steel magazine body if I can get away with it, just because the magazines drop free from the pistol a little bit easier. Yeah, anyway. Springfield Armory makes tremendous quality magazines. They have ever since these pistols came out. As far as Springfield introducing the Croatian-made pistols into the US market, and that was way back in the early 2000s. That's when we got two of our first XDs, an XD45 and an XD40. Or was it two XD40s at first? I can't remember. But either way, from Key Sporting Goods, way back in the early 2000s. Some of our first XDs in this family. Okay, so I've talked about the magazines a little bit. Let's continue talking about the magazines. So again, magazine capacity. Out the gate here, you're looking at 10+1 again on the Glock, or 9+1 on the Springfield. These are with the stock mags. If you want to get the extended full-size mags from like the Glock 21 or the full-size XDM, you'll be looking at 13 rounds in both pistols. Again, a stainless steel magazine body on that XDM mag versus the polymer metal line on the Glock 21. Most important things to look out for as far as reliability on any of these striker-fired pistols, in my opinion, is to make sure that they don't go out of battery. Continuing to compare these pistols, you can see how much thicker the Glock 30 is. You have quite a bit thicker of a slide on that pistol. Now I will say this, because of the Glock 30 having a slightly thicker slide, it will make this pistol a little bit more enjoyable to shoot over even the XDM Elite here. Which pistol feels better in the hand? XDM is a little bit more ergonomic as far as it has a trimmer grip overall, so it feels a little bit better maybe in hand than the Glock 30. But I gotta tell you guys, the Glock 30 feels terrific with its extra round here, 10+1, 45 ACP. It just feels great. It feels very comfortable in my hand. Again, short frame standing for reduced grip circumference, so they've slightly trimmed down the overall profile of this polymer frame, making it slightly more ergonomic for most shooters. And again, look at that. So no issues at all with the Glock 30, but again, the Glock 36, for some odd reason, I have an issue running that and dropping the magazine release. Kind of interesting. Talking about weights, again, 10+1 with the Glock or 9+1 with the Springfield Armory pistols. What do they come in at? The Glock 30 SF comes in at 26 ounces, and the XDM Elite Compact comes in at 25 ounces. So 1 ounce lighter, even though it's got a whole lot more going on. That's one of the things about the Springfields compared to the Glocks, you guys, is they have a lot more going on. They have a lot more parts, a lot more things that can go wrong, honestly, compared to your Glock. That's why a lot of people prefer the Glocks over the XDMs, because, okay, so here we go. A lot of people don't like this passive grip safety here on the XDMs. They think that it's annoying, and it's just, again, another thing that can possibly go wrong here. But again, grip the pistol and that safety goes away, and then the only other safety you have here, pressing the trigger itself, of course. And it's a pretty good trigger in this pistol. It's not bad at all. There's the wall. Boom. Reset. False positive. Right there, that's the reset. And then, again, a little bit of movement before you hit that wall, and then a decent break on this Springfield Armory. Comparing that to the Glock. Again, you got that safety in the middle of the trigger, but there is no safety back here. The only safety is that trigger dingus, basically. And then, of course, your brain telling you when the right time is to press that trigger to the rear. So there's your safety dingus right there. Here's your take up. We're at the wall. A little bit of movement. Trigger's firming up. Good break. Very clean break on this Glock 30 SF. Reset. Ooh, money. Tremendous trigger. And this Glock 30. I prefer the trigger on the Glock over the XDM. That's just my personal preference. Other people may prefer the Springfield trigger, but I think this Glock 30 has a hell of a trigger. It's got an even better trigger than the Glock 30 Gen 4. That's right, still have this pistol. I bet you guys didn't expect to see this bad boy here. But yeah, so the Glock 30 SF has a pretty good trigger, even in comparison to the old warhorse right here, the Glock 30 Gen 4. So here's the trigger on this. Again, safe action style, so you got that little dingus in the middle of the trigger there. And here's the break on this. Little take up. A lot more movement there before the wall. Reset. Again, more movement and then break. The Glock 30 SF right here has a much cleaner trigger than this older Glock 30 Gen 4. What other features do we have here? Again, so talking about stock sights, these are stock factory Glock night sights. Again, steel sights, very nice, good quality. Good quality tritium vials in there as well, and a nice sight picture. Again, 3-slot rail, front cocking serrations. You also do have a chamber indicator right there, so that little piece in the middle will stick up when there is a round in the chamber. So it's a little chamber flag, basically. It'll stick up like that, okay? I think that's pretty much everything aside from the trigger. So let's showcase this trigger again. So you got that safety dingus in there. When it's in, this trigger pretty much breaks at a flat 9 degrees. Really nice. Here's the reset. Again, it's right there. A little bit of creep. It's not a bad trigger on this XDM. I actually think it's... yeah, that's not bad at all. It's a little spongy, this trigger, compared to the Glock. It's, to me personally, the Glock just feels more business-like as far as the trigger. It feels more serious. This feels more toyish. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, what? XD's trigger just feels kind of mushy, kind of spongy. It's not great, in my opinion. And again, that's the specific XDM right here compared to this specific Glock 30. Every pistol is different, you guys. You go to a gun store, if you remembered how these triggers pulled in this video, the pistols you pull out at the gun store definitely may not pull anywhere near to the way these do. It's just the way it is, guys. As far as talking about the quality of the barrels here, with Glock, you're running a polygonal rifled barrel here, even on the Gen 3 Glock 30 SF. They're still running that polygonal rifling even in the Gen 5 guns, but they've upgraded to their marksman barrel with the marksman crown and all that. If you guys are interested, you could pick up a Glock 30 Gen 5. And again, the Gen 5 features would be the NDLC finish, ambi slide stop, Gen 5 finger grooveless grip, and Gen 5 stippling, Gen 5 magazine release as well. So it would be the profile of basically this Gen 4. Gen 5 gun, because of all of its upgrades, even over this, you guys, it's definitely something to look at if you're a fan of Glocks, especially in 45 ACP and in this carry size. In comparison, talking about the Springfield is running a cold hammer forged match grade barrel. Again, Springfield does know how to make a quality pistol, you guys. They even fully polish off the feed ramp to make sure that there are no issues running any sort of rounds through the XDM pistols. But again, if I had to choose one, you guys, if I only had to buy one specific gun, if I had to choose one between these two, the Glock 30 or the Springfield Armory, which would I choose? Honestly, it'd be the Glock. I have such a good experience with Glock and they run so well. They are so simplistic and easy to use. They point so naturally. I don't have any issue with the Glock angle. I don't know what people are talking about when they talk about all these different grip angles and not being able to aim the pistol. Guys, just utilize the pistol and get good, get better. I could pick up a Glock, I could pick up a Springfield, a 1911, anything, a revolver, and make it run. And again, even with all this experience, with all these different platforms and different weapons, I could still respect and come back to a Glock 30 and be extremely happy with what it's offering and its accuracy, characteristics, and how it feels, using it as a preferred self-defense carry piece. Again, I carried this Glock 30 Gen 4 for a couple years before I ended up selling it to Beretta Senior, and now it is serving a different role as to concealed carry. But anyway, again, in service, in use, the Glock 30s. Thoroughly trusted in this family. Just terrific double stack 45 ACP pistols from Glock. Let's test out these triggers live here. Test out the Gen 4 gun. .6.6, go with that. Glock 30 Gen 4, now Glock 30 SF. Okay. So that is a really heavy Glock trigger right there. But I just didn't think it was that heavy, but this is a heavy Glock trigger. Okay, now comparison to the Springfield Armory XDm Elite Compact. Let's see where this thing breaks out. Appreciate you guys watching this video. You guys have a great one. And don't forget to vote this election season. And as always, remember, your Second Amendment is worth protecting.